Everybody, hey, welcome to the Realine podcast where we talk about your faith, your family, and your money. I'm your host, CEO, and founder of Realine, Britton Rogers, and today we've got a special guest on the podcast. This is Abby Connelly. What's up, Abby?
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're excited to have Abby. Abby is on our team as our creative team lead, and she's obviously rocking the hat
Yes.
today.
Gotta have the merch.
Gotta have the merch. I said, wear something Realine. And, she came with the OG hat.
Yeah, the OG.
So, yeah, and I didn't realize I was wearing this just out of habit. So, but hey, we're excited to have you. In this little setup. So,
yeah, I'm excited.
we're going to talk today really about branding and marketing and social media and all the things that Abby does. A little bit of context is that I guess a year ago, probably, I came to Abby because our connection is through Ramsey.
Yep.
And I think it was Instagram,
Yes. I remember you posted that you were leaving and I had just
left.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I was like, I got to reach out and say congrats.
Yeah. So she reached out and I was like, I think I had seen each other in passing.
Yes.
And then realizing like, oh, Abby went out too to start her own thing. Yeah. And I was like, we've got to at some point our paths have got to cross. So, so we reached out with Realine. I had just kind of started Realine as far as the marketing and the branding and all of that. And I was like, we got to do something better than what we have.
Right.
And I was like, Abby's the person for the job. And so this design, this logo and what that we're wearing now is all Abby. Pretty much. So
yeah, it's so cool to see it on hats and in the different places online because it really is your vision, your story brought to life, which I love.
Yeah. So we, I guess just we could tell our audience a little bit. Like you were at Ramsey for what, 2 years?
Yeah, a little over 2 years. I was at Ramsey. I had graduated from Belmont, and I was on Entree Leadership, which was incredibly foundational for how I run my business today and just the way that I was able to meet so many people, for example, you, and just really learn how to lead, run, and scale a business. It set me up for so much of running the business today. And there's still things that I learned at Ramsey that I'm implementing and learning in my own business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy. I feel like when you're at Ramsey, which we just love, like we still love to this day. A lot of the guests that we have on this podcast, we cross paths at Ramsey, and it's so connected and it's so big there that I always say Dave turned me into an entrepreneur.
Right. Yeah.
Because
100%. Yeah.
And you too, right? Like, I mean, like you go there and you have such an incredible experience, but it gives you this, like, I don't know, ambition to go start your own thing.
Right. And it's cool to see so many people go and do that from their time at Ramsey.
Yeah. So tell our audience a little bit. Obviously, you know what we do, but like I want you to tell them a little bit about Arc&Co.
Yeah.
And just some of the work that you've done for us, and then also some of the work that you do for other clients.
Yeah.
All throughout your normal day to day.
So I actually started Arc&Co when I was a senior at Belmont, and I saw a need to tell people's stories visually. And at the time, I was just like, people are coming to me. I want to create a business. So at 21, I filed for an LLC and was like, I'm just going to do this as people come. It was logos and websites at that point, and I knew there was such a need even before I was focusing in on business owners, for people who needed something that is a part of their story to be visualized. So I was like, I will start a business and see what happens. I remember the day before I launched, I was like, is this a good decision? Am I ruining my life, or setting myself up for success by starting this business? And it has just, some days I still think the first, but most days I think the second.
Yeah.
And so it has just been so cool to see the business evolve. Now we basically, in one sentence, tell people stories visually through branding, websites, and digital marketing. And so we take care of every detail, from you coming with an idea and being like, here is the mood of what I want my new brand to be to the full website, each button, each graphic. We take care of that. So that is, we're a pretty much full in-house agency now that
Nice.
yeah, that does digital marketing.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
2000, so you were 21. So was that before Ramsey, during Ramsey?
That was before Ramsey. So that
Okay.
was 2022.
Okay.
And I told my leader at Ramsey, like, I have a business. And he was like, great, we love a side hustle. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay. But it definitely tapered down while I was at Ramsey because I was learning so much. I was absorbing so
Right.
much. So the client load was like 1 or 2
Yeah.
clients at the time.
Mhm.
And so I'm so thankful that's expanded because that was the perfect time to learn and just be saturated in everything I could
Yeah.
learn at Ramsey. So
Yeah. No, it's amazing. I would like you to tell kind of our audience too. So I came I came to Abby and I was like, "Hey, I want," this was got to be a year ago, right?
yeah,
I
probably
mean,
over a year
probably
ago.
over
Yeah.
a year ago. I came to Abby and I was like, "Hey, I have this idea. I want to create a brand that is manly,
Yes.
that's warm, that's bold, that attracts a man." Really is quite honestly like what I had originally come with.
Right.
Um, and I think it still does, right?
Right.
Like that's still part of it. But the reason being for that was because I see a lot of men who own coffee shops,
Yep.
and I really wanted to go after the coffee shop market,
Yep.
at least originally, with not only the branding but also like serving them with accounting and bookkeeping. Because I just naturally, I mean, there's a lot of women, coffee owners as well. But I felt like the ones who were coming to us were predominantly men. And so I was like, it's kind of like the church. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but in the church world, they always say, like, if you can win the 30-year-old male,
Mhm.
the 30-year-old man, you win his family. And so you can get the man and get all of his wife and his kids and everybody in. So to me, I was like, okay, if I can win, if I can
Right.
win that, and it's attractive to them, they'll want to keep coming back.
Right.
And so we looked at some coffee shops,
Yep.
and different things.
Yeah.
And then what do you feel like stood out to you about that? And like, how did that help like design?
Yeah, that's a great question because I feel like you
Yeah.
debrally came to me with the ideal customer profile of
Yeah.
like this gritty endurance, male dominant
Yeah.
brand that was still approachable. And I took that and I still wanted it to feel gritty, but I also wanted it to feel authentic because what Realine does is get business owners back to their why.
Yeah.
And so it is real what you do. You do real life transformation. You realign other people's businesses.
Yeah.
And so I wanted it to feel just as authentic as your mission. And so I wanted to pair that grittiness of like, let's seek a ICP, ideal customer profile, that's like 30-year-old male, but also coffee shops and other businesses that would fit the kind of clients you want to serve.
Yeah.
And so with that, I would say we kind of rounded out the colors, the logo, the look, tone, feel
Yeah.
to be something more approachable than probably your initial mood board because we wanted it to be something all encompassing and something that people, regardless of business type, could feel is approachable.
Yeah.
Is what I'd say. But it still does have that like more manly, gritty feel to it in some of the branding aspects. Like I didn't want to throw that aspect of it away, especially with the original branding being more like that. And so what you came to me with was great. And you were like, let's level it up. And I was like 100% because your business was growing rapidly. And so you were like, okay, I want the visuals to meet where the business is, aligning to. So it was
realigning
too.
Hey.
It's hard not to make realign puns the
I
whole
know.
time.
We do that
so
all the
easy.
time. It's so easy now. So great.
But yeah, so we realigned the branding and it felt very like organic and natural how the progression of the rounds of logos came about. And so we had like a mood board, a color board, all the things. And it just evolved very naturally and organically.
Yeah. And I would say even since then, we kind of developed the brand, but then that turned into let's develop the website. Like,
Right.
let's do the website. So we went through another, I don't know, several rounds of like website redesign of like,
Right.
how do we want this to feel when somebody comes to the site?
100%.
And how can we make it super easy for them? So we've done iterations of that,
Yep.
and we use Monday.com as like a client management system, and
Yep.
so we even were able to like embed a form into the website so people
Right.
can, you know, fill out a form and then it goes into Monday.com. Like little things like that makes such a huge difference as part of
Yeah, that's what I'd
marketing.
say makes the most difference is integrating things that the business owner already uses into their website and branding. And even if it's a Monday.com form that we can custom code into the website, or just adding more call to action so people are more likely to convert to click. It's like
Yeah.
those things that sound nerdier really do make the difference when it comes to looking at the metrics or the number. And I think that's
Yeah.
sometimes as a creative, people don't think you look at the numbers or the metrics, but they're just as important when you're creating as,
Yeah.
you know, as you working in spreadsheets all day.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
it is numbers to numbers, and people are like, well, you can't be creative. You're, you know, like
Yeah.
you're an accountant, but
Yeah.
I truly believe everybody's creative. And
Mm,
like in the beginning, God first created, and we're made in his image
that's
and
good.
likeness. So
So good.
we are all a reflection of his creation, and we were made to be creative. The details of the website and the brand really do make all the difference when aligning to the customer's needs. And for you, it was really awesome because I am in the day to day of who you're talking to, whether it's on social media or
Mm.
like somebody coming to the website or on the podcast. So it was cool to see your ideal customer profile and be like, okay, where are we meeting them and how will your website convert to do so?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, like you mentioned social. So the thing that we had kind of come together with, I think, was,
Mhm.
okay, we want everything from from this podcast to the website to social media,
Yeah.
anything customer facing or, you
Right.
know, external facing, especially to look, tone, feel like how we were talking about, like
Right.
a little bit gritty, a little bit, you know, focused on, you know,
Yeah.
I keep saying the man, but like
Right.
all the
Right.
women
Right.
watching this are like, oh, so it's not for me. No, it is for
Right.
you too.
Yeah.
Like over half of our clients are women business owners,
Right.
but which is really funny. But yeah, just like everything from merch to like everything we're putting out, we just really wanted to kind of have this succinct, you know,
Right.
it's all together. It's not just this wild thing over here and this wild thing.
Right. Yeah, we were
And
definitely
so,
looking for cohesion across every single platform
yeah,
and ways to improve it to just make it feel like the same brand instead of pockets of a
yes,
business.
yeah,
And so I think with the rebrand, it was so nice to be like, here are the fonts we use, here are the colors we use, whether you're using it on YouTube or the website, it's going to be all the same.
yeah. Yeah. So, well, Abby's done an amazing job for us. If you need to use Abby, I would say definitely get in touch with her and her company. Um, but we're gonna switch over because I want to talk about something that's really prevalent to business owners
Yeah.
because we keep talking about, you know, we want to. The whole goal of this podcast is to get business owners to their why. Like,
Right.
why did you start your thing,
Right.
and how can we come alongside and help from an accounting and, you know, bookkeeping and all of that perspective?
Mhm.
um, but I think one of the most trendy things right now is AI, you know,
Yes.
in marketing, in social media. And so like let's just start there.
Yeah.
Let's just get your thoughts.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
you start this company who's primarily focused on marketing and
Right.
social and website design,
Right.
and then AI explodes
Right.
in the
Yeah.
last like
Yeah.
6 months, I
It's
guess,
crazy.
primarily
Yeah.
year, I guess
Yeah,
probably a
year.
year,
Yeah.
but even more so, I feel like in the last 6 to 8 months, it's like,
Insane. Yeah.
oh my gosh, even for accounting, like
Right.
I can
Yeah.
throw a spreadsheet now
The
into
capabilities.
the capability is like
Insane.
unreal. It's a little terrifying.
Right.
It's
Some days I'm like, oh wow. Yeah.
yeah. So what are your initial thoughts
Yeah.
on
And
just it?
it's so funny because I was talking to a group of college students a couple months ago, and they asked me the same thing. They're a class of seniors, and they're like, what do we do? We're all graduating in like design, marketing, art.
Yeah.
Is AI going to take over our jobs? And I was like, listen, at one point, people like Photoshop and Adobe, it has all evolved into something where now AI is even integrated in. And I told them AI is a tool, but it is not you.
Yeah.
And so AI is a tool that you should learn and know, but it does not have soul. It does not have a story. And without the soul, without the story, it is not going to resonate with other people. Yeah, it's great at, doing reports, running metrics, all of these things. And that can be a great asset to your business when you use it correctly. It can accelerate so many things. At the end of the day, it's not your story. It's not, it doesn't know why you started Realine.
Right.
Yes, you can input that, but the emotion behind it isn't aligned to a human's emotion. And so it can be utilized as a tool in a great way, but it doesn't substitute the real substance.
Yeah. I think there's like, even I've been taking, tell me if I'm taking this too far, but I feel like there's even this whole thing of like, in scripture, like God created us, like we are the greatest thing he created.
Right.
And I think there's even verses that talk about, like we're greater than the animals, essentially to some regard. So if we're the greatest creation he's ever had, then to me it's like, okay, well, we might be able to try to manipulate, a computer or manipulate a robot or whatever to try to take over, to do what we're capable of doing, the human mind and the human brain.
Yeah.
But I just keep going back to that because I mean, it can be on the surface intimidating, scary.
Yes.
If you're like, oh my gosh, like I remember when I left Ramsey, even the start of AI, they were talking about copywriters. No offense to copywriters, they were talking about copywriters and how AI was boom going to take copywriting jobs. You know how many copywriters there still are in person today?
Yeah.
Because now the business has flipped to where now it's humans are correcting the AI mistakes.
Right. 100%. And that is something that I came into this year very passionate about. And I didn't really have an opinion before, but more than ever, we are seeing a return to analog, whether it's the trending 90s summer or the, like doing crochet or puzzles or whatever it is. People are returning back to that because AI has way almost like oversaturated people's lives. And they're like, I would rather talk to a human. I would rather go on a picnic. I would rather build something with my own hands or read a book. And so whether it's like on Substack or Instagram, I've just been seeing so much content about a return to that simple living because AI has oversaturated and given so much information at your fingertips, which always has been the internet, but it's at an accelerated level right now.
Yeah.
So I think that you need to use it well within means, but also remember that it's not a human and it will never be. So it's not going to substitute a relationship or an emotion or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was reading on LinkedIn actually this morning about, there was this guy who posted that he was doing a 5-year cleanup bookkeeping project. 5 years.
Wow.
So I hate to know the tax situation of that.
Yeah, that's
of that person.
Crazy.
But he was cleaning up 5 years, which was 25,000 transactions. And he said, I got into it. It took me a whole day to do, to do a 1 year worth. He said, so I threw the other 4 years into Claude. Is it called Claude?
Yeah, Claude.
He goes, I threw it into Claude and it did it in like 30 minutes. And I was like, that sounds cool. It sounds awesome.
Right.
To me, there's still this like, maybe it's the human element, the cautious side of me, the high S, high C on the disc.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, cool. You threw that in there, but how does that translate down now to a P&L? How does it translate down to?
Is it correct?
Is it correct?
And now Claude has that client's data.
Yes.
And knows every transaction of that client, which depending on contracts they sign could be a liability.
I know people who are throwing their P&Ls and balance sheets into ChatGPT, into OpenAI.
Wow.
And so the OpenAI just instantly got all of your company's financial information.
Yeah, that's not that.
And I was like,
my boyfriend's firm, that is not legal.
Yeah.
Because it's a breach of.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's so crazy. But yeah, so I think I'm glad that we're.
Yeah. No, totally.
We're aligned because it's like, like I think where we're coming from is just this genuine concern for authenticity. Like
Right.
authenticity is so devalued today that like I remember, and you've heard this too, but like, people always say, well, there's nothing like a handwritten note.
Right.
There's nothing like an actual gift that you give to a
Right.
client. And I think like that's something that I've really been trying to do is
Yeah.
let me handwrite a thank you note
Right.
still.
Yeah.
Let me give a gift like,
Right.
to a client or to even to you guys like
Yeah.
as the team, because it goes a long way other than
Right.
like, oh, I'm just gonna, throw something through the internet
Yeah.
through chat GPT and oh, what can you give me?
Right.
What kind of gift could I
Right.
create?
That
You
is
know,
very
what kind
inauthentic. Yeah.
yeah.
And I would say you do
So
that honestly really well. And I notice to your point that, even when you pay the team members, you don't just send an invoice or like let AI send like a message. It's like, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for your hard
yeah.
work. And you continually remind us of the humanness behind the work we do and the importance. And so I would say you do
Mm.
that really well as a leader.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy, like just how much it's evolved. And so I think what you can take away from what we're talking about is just to be really cautious, like be optimistic and
Right.
be excited, like
Right.
use AI as a tool. We're not here to just dog on
Yeah.
AI
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there are some really cool things that
Yeah.
it can do.
Yeah.
Like I think it is good for even like if I write out an email and I can throw it in there and at least get ideas filtered back to me
Right.
of like,
Right.
oh, I didn't think about that phrase that way.
Right.
I could change it that way,
Right.
but not letting AI write everything for you, right? Like your
100%. Yep.
emails, your texts, your social media posts, like
Yep.
all of those things, like just be cautious,
Yes.
essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
But but I think that's something that you're gonna be facing even more so than maybe more so than us
Right. Right.
is just how
Yeah,
you navigate.
I had a client call me and she was just like, "I just wanna talk to a human. I just wanna work with a human. Can you talk to me on all the meetings?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's my whole method. Like I will use AI as a tool, but I'm the one showing up on the meetings." So,
Yeah. What's the most exciting thing that you get to do? What's the most exciting thing that you get to do today and that you're kinda like looking forward to?
that is a great question. I would say the most exciting part to me of working with clients is taking their story, whether that is how they verbally communicate their story, an intake form, and translating that to something beautiful and something visual that stands out.
Mm,
Because I firmly believe that everybody has a story worth telling. It's a matter of how we uncover that story and tell it to the rest of the world.
mm.
Back to the why, like what's your
Yeah.
why? And how we do that visually is something that continually excites me. Like putting a mood board together, putting a color palette together, that thrills me. And
Yeah.
so I would say that's the part of it, like setting the foundation for the project is where I get really excited.
Like storytelling's gonna take you a long way, not just
Right.
your company, but also like all the clients that we engage with,
Yeah.
So it all that's why I love realignment
Yeah.
because it's like we all have to be realigned in
Right.
different ways, whether it's business or personal
Yeah.
or functionality or
Yep.
systems we use or like almost everything that we engage
Right.
with comes back
It's
to like we usually realign it at some point.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
And I feel like that sums up our time on Earth. It's all
yeah.
about refining and realigning continually to seek
Mhm.
first the kingdom.
Yeah.
And it's a humbling and bold and exciting journey, but it's refining and realigning.
Yeah. What would you say to kind of like wrap up our time?
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest if I'm new to the small business world,
Yeah.
like for all of the people who might just be new, um, what's your biggest piece of advice, like starting a business, and then also like especially if if they're going to get into the marketing world and website design and those
Yeah.
kinds of things. They've been thinking about it for a while. Like, oh, should I start this business? Should I like not start it?
Yeah.
Like kind of twofold, like new people, and then also if it's specific to marketing.
So I would say go for it. There's no time to learn like the present, and you will always want to white knuckle and make it perfect, but just put your first draft out there. I even say this for myself because I'm really good at being like, it has to be perfect before I put it out. But the truth is, I know deep down I will never put it out because it will never be perfect in my eyes. So just getting the first draft out there is imperative, and then build the momentum as you learn and grow and experience what it's like running a business, because there's going to be no perfect day, perfect time to start. So
Ship it.
Ship it. Yeah, ship it. Honestly, yeah, ship it. And my second piece of advice would be, if you have already launched your business and you're in a season of running the business, rest. Do not forget to rest. That has just been something in this past year and moving into 2027 that I prior to this didn't prioritize, and it led me to a place where I was obsessed with my business, and that was not healthy for me, my business, my team members. Like, it just all around was not good. And so being able to rest on a weekly, quarterly, and annual basis, and having exact means of what that looks like, has been something that is changing how I run my business. Because I think you probably understand this, but when you sign up to run your own business, you're like, great, I can have my own schedule, and quickly you learn like you're here, there, and everywhere 5 to 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And you just need to reprioritize that rest, and that can really change the game on loving your life in the day to day, as opposed to the business running you.
Yeah. I think when you have a 9 to 5, you have a clear cutoff of like, it's time to go home.
Yep.
You know, like I have a drive home, if there's like this clear separation.
Yes.
And when this is, you know, the studio and the office and everything, it's like, oh, it's accessible. I could send one more email.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
I
And
can
it's
send
dangerous. It's so dangerous.
I could get one more client, you know?
Right.
And then you look up and you're working 6, maybe 7 days a week.
Right.
And then it's time to start the week again.
Right.
You know?
And yeah, I've been reminded of something at the very beginning of running my business. I went to church, and the whole giving message was on how we should give to others, because it was actually never ours in the first place. And that hit me, and I wrote it in my notebook. It was never yours in the first place. And I put it on my bathroom wall, and it's there to this day, of it was never yours in the first place. So whenever I try to act like the money, the projects, the anything of the business is mine, I'm quickly reminded that it's all the Lord's, because he was the one that gave me this skill set, and appointed me and anointed me for such a time as this. And so that always has been like, okay, if you're going to hustle and not take rest, it's going to impact my relationship with other people and with the Lord. And so I've had to be humbled and really learn that this year. So if you're listening and you're like, I need rest, learn what that looks like for you.
Yeah. And I guess the final thing I'll say in closing is, we put out a post last week, I think it was, about ASAP culture is what we call it.
Yes.
Where it's like everybody and everything needs everything done today. Like
right now.
ASAP, it's done. Like I get numerous emails that are like, this is ASAP. It has to be done.
Yeah.
Number one, it's not, it doesn't have to be done that quick. Like we have sped up, you know, our time frame on when things need to be done.
Right.
And I think, to what you're saying, we have to remember that even God rested, right? Like, and not to be cliche, but even God rested.
Right.
You know, on the 7th day, he rested and he took a break. And if he can do it, so can we.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's why Chick-fil-A is so successful. That's why, like, a lot of these businesses are so successful that take off Sunday to honor the Lord. And I think that if you can do that in your business and we can do that in ours, I think we're going to be better for it. We're going to be sharper for it. We're going to be, you know, better to our teams and our spouses and our kids. You know,
you just all around show up better.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
I know it goes quick. We always like plan these things out, and then it's like, oh, it's over. It's over. So
that's crazy.
But I'm sure we'll have Abby back on. Thanks for joining us for episode number 2. And we will see you guys on episode number 3.
Bye, guys.
See y'all.